Okay, we're back. Now, um, we're going to hold up on that project again because I wanted to go over something that I've forgotten. No, I'm kidding. Here's the car. So, this is it right here. Now, I'm pretty sure there are those out there who recognize what this is supposed to represent. So, with this one here, what we're going to do is, man, that thing just looked like it came out of the bottom of the ocean, don't it? What we're going to do with this vehicle here is we're only going to do what we have to bring everything up into new conditions. So we're going to be like eccentric with it. Everything has to be 100% or it's no go. So that'll be the idea. Because there are those out there who like to build it up to 100%. So might as well do the demonstration in this order here. So we have parts that are also worn out. Day 2 will also be brought up to specs. So since that is what I plan to do, I really don't see any reason why I should do a diagnostics or anything else with the car because everything on it's going to be rebuilt. So we'll just go ahead and get started with this. Try to find, probably do is I'll probably start with the suspension first. And the reason for starting with that suspension first is to itemize everything out because this is going to be a lot of parts here that are going to be rebuilt. So whenever I do a rebuild, the one thing I like to do is I like to itemize what part of the vehicle I'm using first. Because you remember I said before, you don't want to be having the problem with mixing all these parts with these parts. It isn't so much that they don't, that the parts in the rear will have nothing to do with the ones in the front. It's when you do a check here, and you got all these parts coming all the way down the line, and then you got to go try to find the ones that you're working from that section of the car. Like if I do all these exhaust parts here, once they're done, they'll be deleted from the inventory. Because if not, they get mixed with the inventory with the rest, like the front suspension, let's say. Then I'm looking for something to make sure I have it or I need to buy it. And it'll be, for me, it's just more stuff I have to scroll through. That's why I do this the way I do it here. So now this is what I was talking about. That I made a mistake on the other card. This is leaf spring suspension here. That's what I thought the other one had because I saw the shackle system. So when I saw that it didn't have, when I saw this, that's what I was thinking. But the cars in here, like some of these older ones, do use this leaf spring system. So it's not like they. That's why I made the mistake on it, because it threw me off actually. So there it is. We're going to start on the rear of this car first and get it out of the way. Now, what's cool about this is like one of the older cars, talking the 69, uh, early 70s. And this car here uses drums. See that? Besides being very nasty looking. These are considered the brake shoes. This is your wheel cylinder. And the wheel cylinders are used in all drums. So one of the things you got to check out is that some of the cars here will have drum brakes instead of just disc brakes. Now, one of the things dealing with this leaf spring suspension is that it uses the smaller bushings on each end. And if you're not familiar with that, these actually bolt to a shackle that's attached to the body section of the car. Because usually that's where it would be attached to. Plus, this is your U-bolts once again for this system. Basically, what this does is this is a basic system, and what this does, this serves two purposes. One, locks the leaf spring to the axle, and the other purpose it serves, as you can see, it's flat to keep it stationary. because on the other cars that are coil spring, they have uh, arms. On the real ones, they have arms that come off of the differential up into the frame. And what these do is these prevent this axle and differential from twisting. So if you're going forward, the axle kind of wants to twist up. So the arms up here support it, so it can't do that. Well, for the leaf springs, it relies on this base that's here. So that's the two things that this thing does. In cars with more powerful engines using a leaf spring system, that's why you see them with that, uh, man, now I forgot what that was. It's an arm support that attaches down here. Traction bar, that's what it is. You have one that comes here, and when this thing twists, it'll turn up and it'll hit the body section up by where this is attached to. So therefore, each time it tries to twist, it actually knocks up in there, as well to keep this differential for twisting too far on the leaf springs, losing the torque loss power that you're trying to get from takeoff. Okay. Okay. Now let's see what we're going to beat into next year. Who will make it, who will not. Well, there is no getting around some of this. So, might as well do this. Okay. So some parts did get repaired. Some parts we lost. Remember the hood, it wasn't that bad of condition. Now it's junk. So some of these weren't in bad condition and now they're junk. Okay, time to get to work. So now here, this is what I wanted to point out real quick. Now as you can see here, I only have everything that's just towards the rear end of the vehicle. So if I had mixed up with the front end of the vehicle, you can see it could get pretty complicated. Because here I was able to determine what I needed to buy that was used versus what I had to turn around and purchase new because they didn't work out. And by having it, by being separate from one section of the car like this, keeps me from scrolling down a list kind of like this, trying to find the one part that I need. See what I'm saying? But it's just a tip. I just thought I'd share that real quick. I just wish there was a way to just get that magnification to roll down far enough. thinking all the stuff that as a mechanic you get your hands into, all the rust and brake dust, all the things you're always told can't get your hands in this stuff, it's too dirty. Oh, smashed my hand. Need to get to the first aid kit. I'm playing with you. I didn't smash my hand. That's the beauty of this game, because you don't have to worry about that part. Just getting everything together. Okay, now that all that's in order, now we can go ahead and start with this front part of the car here on this suspension and get rid of everything here. Start off fresh and new. Here I wanted to show this. See that spring shock assembly, which is about pretty accurate to where it's got to be at. This does not attach to the link end. The link end is actually attached to the control arm. Now you're probably wondering why this would be attached here, or the other ones are attached to the other shock. Well, the other shocks, they're in the States they're called struts, is what they're called. So it's a shock and a spring all in a single load up. Because what you do is you would take it off in its entirely to a table, and there's like a machine. The one that I've seen was a machine that was mounted on the wall, and then what you would do is compress that spring so that you can remove the inserts and whatnot so that that thing can come apart. Now, on these older cars, they don't have a strut. So what they use is they use a shock separate and a spring separate. So the end links are attached to the lower control arms instead. Pretty much just like what you see here. But so that's why this system is different. Because this is a representation of an older car out of 60... I want to say 69, about 69 or 70, about there. So, except these cars back then could either be having drums or disc brakes, and they would use that spindle instead of that piece that I took out. Like I said, that's how those cars is in relation to what I'm talking about towards the game. Not the nitpicking stuff or that it's wrong, so I can't play the game, it's ruined everything. Like, come on, dude, get a grip on yourself, alright? But for in relation of what the part is, that's what that's all about.